Hello, I'm Anthony, back on track with Riversong today, and the song's pretty much finished. I've done an awful lot of work on it in the past couple of weeks, having overcome a horrible Cubase trauma. Groove Agent started crashing Cubase all over the place. Anyway, they've just released an update for it so it's fixed and doesn't crash every project I load. So anyway, I've been able to get this song finished and I'm really happy with it. When I say finished, it's not mixed, it's not produced. There's tinkerings to be done with various tracks, but in terms of the notes themselves, I think there's very little left to do on it. I'm going to play you the entire thing because at almost every stage of the song something new has happened. So we'll give it a listen and then come back and hear all that new stuff.
If you never even had a doubt, you'd go along forever. But you know, your fear of falling is wearing you down. If I ever had the will to hide, I'd hide away forever. But you know, it's too late to try to find the rhyme for one more lullaby. If the river ever learned to cry, its tears would fall forever. But you know, it's almost morning and no end in sight. When it covers us without a sound, the silence lasts forever. But you know, I still have to try to find the rhyme that sells a better life.
start over this whole part, which I've not recorded yet. So that will basically fade down to silence, and then the second song of the album will be The Dream, which will carry on directly from there. So anyway, that's the song in itself. There's obviously a lot of stuff to be polished here yet. I've still not got that vocal side compression absolutely nailed. Every time she stops, I want to hear the delay bloom and do that really fabulous. I mean, Timeless is a great reverb/delay unit, but it's quite difficult to tie it in so that it doesn't get in the way when she's actually singing.
Falling is wearing you down.
So I think I've still got the release a little bit too long. In other words, so the side chaining delay in this way so that the vocal itself suppresses the delay when the vocalist is singing, and then when she stops singing, the delay blooms and you hear the tails. The problem is that you need to get the attack and the release of the compression very good, pretty much exactly spot on, in order to not sound artificial. I had actually tried manually riding the delay. That it didn't feel like that was the solution. I think this is the side chaining is the way to go. I've just not nailed the parameters yet, but I'm close, and I really like that shimmering kind of ethereal delay that you get from Timeless.
If I ever had the will to hide, I'd hide away forever. But you know.
So she's still just stumbling over herself a little bit there. Like I say, more work to be done. This new little guitar section, this guitar line, I really like, with the chug-a-lug thing in the background. Slight stereo panning for these two. I think that's a nice melody. I'm very pleased with that. I had the melody for a while, and the song in its structure, as it previously was, you can see some of the parts that have been muted, just didn't have room for it. So it took me a minute to figure out how to fit it in. But I knew that I wanted it as part of the song, and it evolves nicely from the original kind of solo intro bit, which is. So that's motif number 1. So they've got a similar kind of feeling to them, but different notes, different sounds, and I think it's a nice evolution of the song, particularly with that chug-a-lug thing. I think Guitar 3, I'd previously tried something like this and decided that it was too much, too active, so I pared it right down. If I remember rightly, they're just double stops. They're just 2 strings, like basically a power chord sort of thing. They're not perfect fifths, but it's just 2 strings strummed, descending down the guitar, and it provides enough colour or variety without kind of swamping the sound. I also discovered that I was able to take out the original line, which I always thought would be there forever and completely immutable. This fella. There's so much else going on in that 16 bar section that I was able to cut it out, and that really helps kind of pare the sound down. This synth sound at the beginning of the song was a huge moment when I realised I just wasn't enjoying the way that the song was starting, and it needed some sort of. I wanted a wind effect. Pretty much always turn to Omnisphere for long evolving sounds. It's awesome, and with a bit of a play with the modulation wheel. As I was playing back then, actually, I just inadvertently created a load of unnecessary automation lanes, so I must remember to get rid of all them. But this is the modulation wheel, just basically cranking up this wind effect sound. And right at the upper end, you get these clicks. Awesome stuff, absolutely brilliant. And then pull it all back down, and then it gurgles. So very, very nice, very, very nice sound indeed. Super happy with that. And then finally tinkering with the guitar solo at the end of the song. I had to re-record almost the entire thing. The last phrase was good enough to be kept, but the rest of it had to be re-recorded. It simply wasn't played well enough. but I'm pretty happy with it now. And I've got different effects. I think they're the same effect units on left and right, but with different parameters. Less different than I thought they were, actually. Those settings are really pretty similar. I've pulled the mids down on the right hand side, a little bit of bass boost on the left hand side, but really they're surprisingly similar, actually. I thought I'd made more difference than that. Anyway, they sound good. I'm very pleased with them. And so we get this kind of call and response thing over the course of the solo, where the two guitars are talking to each other, and it works pretty well. So the one question mark remaining is harmonies. I'll probably add harmonies, frankly, but the structure of the song is done. Don't intend to write any more notes from an instrument's perspective. Do want to pad those vocals out and give them a little bit of support and figure out those final polishing touches to make sure that the delay's not tromping all over itself. The problem with a quarter delay, that's a very big, hefty delay. So when the vocals are singing, it's absolutely stumbling all over itself. But in those big silences, it's brilliant when she just repeats the word and it kind of disappears off into the ether. That's the effect we want. So I feel slightly like an overexcited school child on this one. I kind of, want to talk about it really quickly. Oh, let me show you this thing. But you should be enthusiastic about your own music, otherwise you're doing something badly wrong. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please hit the like button, and I'll see you for the next one. Thanks very much for watching.